Hello, I'm just pressing about with some 54mm figures, ready painted things, metal. I think they're mostly Britons, and well, that gun in front is way too big, so it could possibly be a £20 parrot, I suppose, on a Type 2 carriage. Oh, that's just, hang on, bit of a rail track, that red thing. Just trying to bend that backdrop into a sort of decent curve. It's kind of getting there. Because I put a brass channel on the top of it. And that's quite tricky to put a bend in without it twisting. So yes, well, I thought I'd get these just to, it's almost cheating, isn't it? I'm still going to have to make them more realistic, though. The two in front are there, some kind of collector's series, so they're a bit more realistically painted and better, really, than these sort of more standard Britons, I think. Oh, that limber is actually the limber from the collector's ones, and these two chaps are from this limber. I thought I'd put them there because normally the chap in charge of the limber would normally close the lid as soon as he'd taken the round out to prevent accidents. Yes, I thought that was a bit more likely like that, and he's just kind of, well, I suppose he's just like an idiot that's forgot to close the lid. He's an idiot wherever he goes. No, he's better with his own limber, sorry, that one over there. Still, whatever. I'm getting various other sort of 54mm things. A lot of unpainted ones from tradition. Well, for example, there's a wheel, slightly smaller than the Britain's ones in diameter, but they are nice. I've done about 2 hours so far on the spokes, but you can see that ridge in the centre of the rim in the inside face. It's like a high bit of metal on one side, which you usually get with the moulding process. Pain in the arse, and that'll take ages to reduce, and then make sure the spokes are the right shape, and there's no mould marks. Still, it's easier to hold and less fragile than 28mm, say plastic especially. Yeah, quite nice stuff to work with if you can actually grab hold of them properly. And you tend not to break the spokes so easily. Yes, so I've got some £10 parrots, those tradition ones that I've just got to paint and put together. What does that look like if I focus in the distance? Very good, this camera. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm just shaking about too much. It's very difficult to hold this thing. Still, it's interesting what you can do with cheating perspective. So hopefully I'll have 2 sections up here once I've with the proper size guns. I think that's more like 90mm scale. That gun there. It's like some ready-made thing I bought in Gettysburg Museum. And might even have to go down to 40mm scale for the guns here. 54mm might be too much. Can't go back much further. This is the sort of viewing gap. As it were, so I can... Oh, there's a cheese grater. I've just been grating some clump foliage, which is quite effective, that grater. Never actually thought to try it before. And I just need to darken up the foliage sort of in front of the gun in the foreground here. Just temporarily, just hide some bases a bit better. Replace that gun with something of a proper size. I like the limbers though, they're just great. Don't have to really do much to them. That one, no, that's the good one. This one, well, I'll just go over those metal bits on the ammunition chest, black. The sort of corner angles and straps, metal strap type things that are fixed or bolted on, I suppose. Yes, I think they were. Coach bolts, I suppose. Yes, if that gun was smaller it would be a lot better. Well, I don't know actually, no, I need to, just in front of the gun, I need to make it look like we're on a slightly elevated place, and I can do that probably with some large-ish, same sized lumps of darker shade of clump foliage. Yes, hopefully. Oh. Once I've got two guns, and I might get rid of the limbers. Well, only do them temporarily, and I just don't think there's enough room for a limber and a gun, unless I did go down to, say, 40mm scale. Well, you can sort of see what I'm dealing with here. And the trouble is, the limber's kind of blocking a lot of the view anyway for future photographs. Yes. See what I mean? Maybe a bit much to have a whole limber. Maybe I should just... Shame those ammunition chests don't come off. Shame they're not just like bolted on, but they seem to be the cast with the rest of the limber. Apart from the wheels, I suppose. One or two other little bits. Yeah, they're nice, these collector's seats. I don't know, why has he got stirrups? Well, I suppose maybe he was one of the ones that went on a horse, maybe. But you'd think like the bloke in charge of the limber, maybe just a corporal, would sit on the limber when it travelled. Yes, because the blokes on the horses were like teamsters, you know, they were like full-time most of the time, looking after the horses. Sort of doing the horses stuff. So, yes, I don't know why he's got stirrups on. I'll have to maybe black them out. Still, very nice figures though. Oh, what does he look like from the front? I mean, they're not that realistic. Really? Why won't it? Oh, maybe I'm too close, or it's focusing on another there we go. I think he looks far too clean-shaven and clean, and probably too healthy. And creases in his trousers, sort of, well, yeah, you can see that. Let me just change the general kind of enhancing of shadow, recesses and things in the clothing, like, yes, darkening, generally. It's not bad, but he does look like he's on a parade ground or something. Well, he doesn't look like he's on campaign, just far too, as I said, clean looking. And those other two figures firing the gun. I need to get a proper sized crew, of course. They are by the Collector's Showcase. I've never heard of them before, but they are quite nice. They are pretty good. They look quite realistic. These are Britain's sort of standard figures, I think. Oh, that's better. Let me just stop that shaking. And they're great figures, really. So down here. Yes, but they definitely need dirty. I'll probably actually file down those creases on those trousers. They're just very distinct. They just look a bit daft, but look at his trousers. Well, he's still got creases in the front, but the rest looks okay, I suppose. I haven't really looked at these limber wheels to see what kind of, but I can't see any mould marks on those spokes. I'm sorry about that, but they do look quite good. He's a bit of a showroom dummy, I suppose. Posing for the camera. He thinks it's a photo shoot. Well, he still looks pretty good. Well, I think I'll bugger off and get on with that big wheel. And then go to bed, hopefully. But this is just great fun, really. It's saving me an awful lot of time using these big figures in the foreground. And I can have some, just focus, enhanced perspective with trajectories coming out of the muzzles. Bit of an arch to make it look like they're dropping. It sort of looks like they're on a slightly elevated position. A smaller gun would look better, more convincing, probably. Very photogenic, this one. Right. That's probably enough. Dad's army, etc. Yes. God. I've worn these kind of things before, these kind of really expensive jobbies. Yes, they are nice though, but they do need making more realistic. But all the details there, and that one's even got chains on it. It's pretty neat. Yes, they're pretty shiny though, those ones. These ones are still too shiny. They are duller. Yeah. What about a bit closer up? That's not too bad, is it, I suppose? It's that limber that's kind of dominating things too much, I think. I think I'll have to dispense of the limbers, or maybe build an extension that I can just temporarily put on to accommodate these two limbers and crew. Yeah, that's what I can do. That'll be easiest, rather than I just have the guns here, and then, you know, on the actual diorama as I've got it defined by that cyclorama, I suppose, almost. It does have a 90 degrees bend in the far corner, but the rest is curves. Down a bit. Hocus pocus. I hope they don't hit that. Pig Boris. What a terrible tragedy that would be. Well, as long as they don't use anything explosive, they could just eat it as a result. They probably would. Someone's bound to shoot the poor thing, I imagine. Right. I need to bugger off. Bye.